Dear friends, it is truly my pleasure to inaugurate the launch of Phoenix Rising, a book published by St. Jeanne Antide Foundation with the support of the President's Award for Creativity. This book is the culmination of a two-year project bringing to light this very important survivors' experiences of domestic violence in Malta, written by survivors themselves, truly innovative. I hope that through this publication, their stories will finally reach an even wider audience, provided much needed inspiration and solidarity with those who are still caught in cycles of abuse and isolation. Each chapter is rooted in a qualitative methodology, as we have heard, bridging together research, therapy, and popular wisdom. The book produces an insider's look at the painful realities faced by many women and families across our islands. Furthermore, the book's 37 recommendations will give an excellent opportunity for our authorities and policymakers to see the necessary action we must take on our journey forward as a nation to continue tackling the scourge, truly a scourge, of domestic violence. I am pleased to note that the recommendations combine the lived experiences of survivors with the practical requirement for action expressed by professionals and practitioners in the field. Together, through initiatives such as this project, we must continue sending a strong message that we are united as one society against gender-based violence in all its forms. It is shocking to consider the implications of recent developments taking place in certain European countries, which are undermining the progress we have made as a human family and the struggle against gender-based violence. Let me speak for a moment about one such development. A week ago, I'm sad to say, the Russian parliament voted overwhelmingly for a bill that decriminalizes many acts of domestic violence. Moreover, it drastically reduces sentences for abusers. The new law, which passed with 880 to 3 votes, eliminates criminal liability for, and I quote, battery within families that does not cause, and again I quote, substantial bodily harm. This substantial bodily harm is defined as injuries which require hospitalization, meaning the most extreme examples of abuse. In a country where an estimated 1 in 3 women are victims of domestic violence, human rights advocates say that this law will worsen an already grave problem. As women's rights lawyer Mari Deftayan explains about this law, and here I quote her, sends a message that the state doesn't consider familial battery fundamentally wrong anymore, unquote. We cannot allow the rejection of human dignity to go unchallenged, wherever it takes place. Ending domestic violence is ultimately a human rights issue, and human rights are universal. They cannot be treated as a pick and choose or a la carte concept. They're a framework, a way of life, a reality that must be embraced completely and profoundly by all. We as Maltese should be proud that the Istanbul Convention has now been signed by Malta and is now being ratified in our country. However, we cannot drag our feet, waiting for action to be taken. Civil society must keep encouraging our authorities to act now. We cannot be silent while social and cultural attitudes, including certain decisions from our courts yesterday, a very typical shameful decision, diluted our commitment to a zero-tolerance policy towards gender-based violence. In 2015, Crime Malta published a study which revealed that reports of domestic violence had increased tenfold between 2007 and 2014. The previous year, a report by the European Union's Fundamental Human Rights Agency found that 1 in 7 Maltese women had experienced physical or sexual violence since the age of 15, and that the statistic in Malta was more than twice the European Union average. Therefore, we must do all that we can to reaffirm at every opportunity the roots which keep us connected to the framework of universal human rights and essential freedoms. We must continue to empower the marginalized and the vulnerable to strengthen their voices and their resilience in the face of political, social, or economic exclusion. The book we are celebrating today quotes a famous poem by Maya Angelou, which describes the strength of the human spirit in the face of injustice. And I would like to quote it. Did you want to see me broken? Bowed head and lowered eyes, shoulders falling down like teardrops, weakened by my soulful cries? You may shoot me with your words, you may cut me with your eyes, you may kill me with your hatefulness, but still, like care, I'll rise. Like the phoenix of the ancient legend, we are called to rise. We are called to shine our light in the darkness of ignorance and prejudice. We are called to be examples in this time of uncertainty to our families and to our communities, emphasizing our commitment to make the Maltese Islands a unique place of safety and respect for all. A place where the well-being and the dignity of every man, woman and child, of each human being is at the heart of all our laws and our policies. Let me conclude by extending my heartfelt thanks to the survivors themselves, to the professionals who have worked with the survivors, but above all, to you, St. Jeanne Antide Foundation, for your tireless work and your innovative and proactive approaches on behalf of the vulnerable. We must all be firm in our responsibility to safeguard the dignity of all people in our society, ensuring it is fully reflected by our authorities, our institutions, and across society in our Maltese Islands. Thank you.